Well, with me here on set is our international affairs editor, Philip Turle. Philip, Russia is saying, Vladimir Putin is saying, this is just an operation in the east of the country. A little bit of an admission that they're targeting some military targets elsewhere. But it does seem as well that the operation could be wider than that.
Well, I think judging from what President Putin's been saying over the past few weeks, no one is really going to believe anything that he says or any of the pledges that he's making, because he's been saying all the way down the line he wasn't going to launch an invasion of Ukraine, and that's what we've seen happening over the past few hours. So yes, there are reports of movements all around Ukraine. We've heard air raid sirens going off in the capital, Kiev, this morning. There have been explosions heard just outside Ukraine, or just outside Kiev and in the neighborhood around there. And as you can see on this map, the troops and the explosions are being lined up around Donetsk and Luhansk, the two breakaway regions of Ukraine. The big question is, no one knows exactly how far President Putin is going to go. So there have been explosions heard this morning in Kharkiv, which is further to the north on the border with Russia. Also in Mariupol, as you can see on the map here, which is on the Sea of Azov. There have been other explosions heard in Odessa, which is further along on the Black Sea. And even there have been attacks reported along the border between Belarus and Ukraine further northwest. So it looks like there is a gradual bid by President Putin to actually encircle the country as much as possible. So for the moment, we don't really know exactly what he is going to do. Is he just going to send troops into the Donbass region? Is he going to try to take control of Mariupol as well? Will he eventually want to push further west? Well, from what we can see so far, Stuart, the signs are not very encouraging, because if he was just going to launch an attack into Donbass, then we wouldn't probably see these kind of blasts going off in other areas of Ukraine. So I think we have to be extremely cautious at this early hour as to what exactly is happening and what exactly President Putin's aims are.
Yeah, and of course the international reaction is going to depend on how this develops over the next few hours and what those, as you say, what those aims are.
Well, I think we've heard very strong reactions already, well, from within Ukraine itself, from President Zelensky, who has called on the rest of the world to put an end to this war. We've had a meeting already of the UN Security Council, which has condemned the Russian action. NATO has condemned it. There's going to be a meeting of NATO members later today. That was a message sent out by the NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg a little bit earlier on. There have been individual condemnation of what has been going on in Ukraine, notably from Germany today already, and from the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. So everyone has, around the world, most leaders have condemned what's going on, and even China has said this is a dark day for the people of Ukraine. But we don't know at the moment exactly where this is going to lead. As I was saying before, we don't know exactly what President Putin is going to do. He sees Ukraine as an integral part of Russia. He doesn't believe that it's a nation. He's talking about it as a territory, and the government there as a regime. And there are reports also that President Putin is becoming increasingly isolated. He hasn't seen anybody for months due to his fear of getting COVID. He's just surrounded by advisors who will basically do anything that he wants. And I think there's a feeling that President Putin now feels that he is in total control of everything. He can do what he wants. And the question is, will the sanctions that are being discussed by the international community be enough for him to change his mind? Or will it push those who are close to him to say, look, we don't think this is the right course of action. You need to take a different course. Of course, at the moment, we don't really know exactly what is going on in President Putin's mind.
Philip, thanks very much. Philip Turle, international affairs editor. We're going to talk to our correspondent in Kiev in just a moment.